Welcome back to ARK Eternal Volcano. So I know I had alluded to the idea of terminating this playthrough on the last video. That's because we hit the pinnacle with what we did with the end bosses. However, that's not to say there isn't a lot more content. And one thing I had not touched on was what we're going to do right now, the Harbinger. This is the Harbinger Ankylo. We're going to take it out and watch what happens here when we kill this thing. If we can kill this thing, which we should be able to fairly easily. Yeah, they're not very tough. All right. Now it's been defeated, right? And nothing happens at this point. But when we eat the body, now a beetle appears. Okay, so it's at this point that you have to make sure you've got some taming meat, which I don't have on me. Let's see, do we have... Yeah, here we go. Slap some prime in our 10 slot, and then I'm going to go ahead and sneak up on this guy. There we go. Now we have tamed this up. Now, because I have been stockpiling those eggs, this will be fine for us to have one of these guys. So what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and take it off of wander or follow, and then we're going to also, well, let's stand up first. And then, okay, now I will set its behavior to passive. And we will go ahead and just teleport this thing up to our base. I suppose I could have gone with it. Yeah, I definitely could have gone with it. So we will teleport ourselves up to our base. Now here's the thing, guys. The Ankylo does this basically the same thing that all the other beetles do. It produces resources for you. So if we look in its inventory, you don't really care about any of its stats. Though they don't matter. All its purpose is to wander around and make stuff. But it has to be on wander to do that. So it's advisable that if you have these things, you create a pin specially for them. Now I'm only going to make the one, and I'll probably... I can't squeeze it in there with the snails, I don't think. It's a little large for that. Maybe we'll make a little pin in the corner somewhere, and we can do that. But for now, I'll just show you how this thing works. So first I'm going to set it to wander, and now notice it's got a gender of NA, so you obviously can't breed these things. But if we look in its inventory, it's not producing anything yet. Because in order for it to produce things, let's look in its inventory. Does it say it here? No. I thought it told you somewhere. I forget where I read it. There is some place where it says that it has to have eternal kibble. So what we're going to do is we're going to make up a crap ton. Well, actually, I've got a crap ton already here. We might as well use up a bunch of this. So here's the deal. We're gonna just load him up with all this eternal kibble. Now, with that stuff, it should start producing. There it goes. See, it's producing metal ingots, raw metal, crystal, obsidian, and pelt for whatever reason. I don't know why the pelt. But it takes 5 eternal kibble for each round of production. I think it does like 5 per production round of each of those materials. So yeah, now you see why you want to have a cage for it. Okay, so that's the Harbinger beetle. Now if you want to get like, you could summon the Castoroides, the beaver one, and it'll produce wood and thatch and all those kind of related things. Same deal. You put it on wander and you feed it eternal kibble. We're not going to bother with that. I don't really need anything. I don't really need any of these because I've got ready access to everything by now. But I want to show you a couple more creatures we picked up. This is the robot trike. Now, the only thing I've touched so far is I gave it 4 levels in speed. It's slowed for something, I don't know. It's super, super, super slow. But it starts with 1.5 million hit points. I don't know how much damage it actually does. Because it's so slow, I couldn't chase down anything to attack with. But there is a robot trike, there's a robot parasaur, there's a robot, I think a robot stego, and raptor and rex. Now, speaking of the robot rex, oh, is it in here? Where is it? Yeah. I bred them, and we have a baby robot rex right here that does really good damage. It's not equivalent to like the Dodo, the Dominus Dodo Rex, or the Dark Star, but we haven't have we max leveled it? Yeah, I don't know how much damage it's doing. 500,000 ish or something. It's got 10 million hit points. A very, very solid, fighting ground mount. That, like, if you're gonna tame up a Rex of any type, this is probably your top tier Rex. And with the imprinting, very, very good. Okay, now let's move out here, and I wanted to show you this one. Look at this guy. This is a spectral wyvern. I forget what level it was, but it's 909 now, and I've maxed it out. I think it was 480 or something when it attacked me. But look how cool it looks. Looks almost like ice or something. It's translucent, transparent. It's very cool. Does really good damage. Its attack is like, it looks like a cold attack or something. I don't know what that thing does, but it's very powerful. And let's see, I got it up to 7.5 million hit points, and its melee is like 58. I forget now exactly how much damage that translates into. Let's see if we can find something real quick in the area that I can just blast. I was actually very pleasantly surprised with the amount of damage this did. Okay, there we go. 63.9 that was the breath. It did 63,900, almost 64,000. Come on, get out of here. Good grief. Yeah, of course I have to do this stuff at night when I can't freaking see anything. Okay, and then let's come down here. I'm going to do a bite on this one, whatever that is, if I can get to it. There we go. Yeah, 255,000, almost 256,000 with the bite. And remember, this was not a level 600. It was for something, 440, 480. I don't know. But either way, again, a very solid dino. Very good flyer. I brought it down with the next one I wanted to show you. I have not found another poison dragon on the server, but we have the elemental lightning dragon, which now is completely leveled up. It's got 20 million hit points, and its melee damage I only raised to 2748. Does a good job tranking out, but of course does more damage than a poison would. I also tamed up a fire dragon. Again, does very good damage. This is not it's not maxed out yet. It wasn't a high level one. It was kind of an incidental tame, but again, does good damage. And like the other dragons, both of these can swim, so that's very good. The other thing I wanted to show you before we call it quits here is I picked up a couple weapons that I hadn't seen previously. One I just put away here. It should be at the bottom. Come on, let's get to it. There is an immortal crystal pike. Now, I haven't raised this damage up. I don't know how much it might do if we max it out, but it's interesting because the immortal weapons, the crystal weapons, harvest 4 times the resources, and do 40% more damage, which is quite good. Now, the other thing is I got this Immortal Crystal Sword. This one I maxed out on its damage, and it hits really, really well. So if you're into hand-to-hand or whatever, in the Eternal, you can get those two weapons in addition to the standard, those two melee weapons in addition to the standard metal stuff. So what else did we get? I think I picked up a couple other things. I bred the RGs, and we have that RG now is full grown and everything. And I think, guys, that's probably it. But I did want to show you that there are a few more things. I might even do another video or two on a couple of the other specialty like bosses and things like that, and see if maybe we can tame up something else or just fight them. I don't know yet. I'm having so much fun, and I want to share it. I don't want to just play the game, like I had been playing for so long, just going out looking for creatures and taming them and stuff. And I thought, I should share this. I was kind of starting to feel selfish for just playing and enjoying without bringing you guys in for some of the stuff. So anyway, that is it. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm going to continue playing on the server for a bit longer, and we will see what other content I might toss up on YouTube. But for now, I want to thank you all for joining us. I hope you've gotten some good info and some enjoyment out of this series, and we will talk with you again very, very soon.